Hello, everybody. This is Javier Garcia. I'm Rachel's husband, and we just wanted to let you know about this wonderful company called Genesis Pures that we've been with for the past 7 years. My wife and I began at Genesis Pure, and this company, because of the income that we've been able to generate over the past 7 years, is allow us to change our life financially and able to take amazing trips all over the world. Just recently, we got back from Paris. And now next year we're going to be going to Australia. And the best thing I like about this company is how it's changed both my family's life and my life as far as my health and our finances. And it's allowed us to basically, enjoy life, have a better quality of life, and not only change our life, but also change other people's life. And at this time, I'll just let Rachel tell you a little more about Genesis Pure.
Hey guys, I'm Rachel Garcia, and we were introduced to Genesis Pure about 7 years ago by my brothers. They called us and asked us to look at the business side of this because they knew that we were looking for a part-time business that we could do to replace our full-time income. Specifically my full-time income, which was no small task. I am a physician assistant, went to school for a very long time and spent over $100,000 to get educated and get a master's degree in clinical medical sciences so that I could practice medicine. And I've now been doing that for 15 years. But about 7 years ago, I had two little baby boys, and they were 3 years old and 9 months old, and I was leaving them, basically paying someone else to raise them, and it was killing me. I worked 12-hour days and made really good money, which was great, but I missed my babies, and I gave myself 3 years to find something that I could do to replace that income on a part-time basis so I could be home with them in the afternoon, specifically when my oldest one got to school. And so when we looked at this, what caught our attention, honestly, was not the business. We thought the business was too good to be true. It was the philosophy of health, this cleanse, balance, and build that you just heard about. And, that I immediately recognized as truth. And I knew it was truth because my nephew had just been diagnosed with severe autism that summer of 2008. And I sat with my sister and heard the diagnosis and the prognosis that he would never speak. And, I had a 9-month-old, and I had a lot of questions about what autism was, and I started to do a lot of research. And that research led me to understand the toxins that are in our food, the lack of nutrition in our food, and honestly, it just gave me a lot of extra work because now I'm working 12-hour days, and I'm also driving all over town trying to find organic food. It wasn't in our local grocery store in Jacksonville, Florida back then, so it just put a lot on my plate, but I knew the importance of putting the right things in my kids' bodies. And in our bodies, and so when I saw this, I knew it was truth. I'm like, oh, this is just truth. This is not a fad. This is the future. Pills are not the future, you guys. Food is the future. And the food that we have in our country is not full of nutrition, unfortunately. And the teachers aren't teaching this, and the doctors aren't teaching this. And so I immediately knew, I want a piece of this. I want to be a part of this. And to me, it was like a shortcut. Are you kidding? They're going to send food to our house that we can eat and give to our kids, and I don't have to drive all over town. I'm in. And I get revenue shares in the company. This is crazy. Mm-hmm. So we came on board not really thinking the business was real, honestly, because of the cheap startup cost. The businesses we were looking at were between $50,000 to $200,000 investments, which is a huge risk and tons of overhead every month. This was $1,850, and you get to eat what you invest in. So that's why we didn't think it was real. And it was honestly our CPA who we sat with, and he knew my long-term goal and of replacing my income, and he said that this business, out of the ones we were looking at, and we owned 2 businesses at the time, he said this one had the most potential to, on a part-time basis, get me to replace my full-time income. And that was kind of eye-opening and surprising, but we started sharing it. And as we began to share it, we began to hear stories of health. Not only in our own lives, we had tremendous changes. And I lost about 35 pounds in 3 months. My 3-year-old at the time was so constipated that he went to the bathroom once a week and bled. It was awful. And that within a week was gone. We saw a lot of changes in our own mental status. Mm-hmm. Javier noticed a big change in his happiness and joy and energy levels, and he works out at the gym like a crazy person now. But the biggest one for us was my autistic nephew, and he went from screaming all day to speaking in full sentences, and that was very eye-opening, and it was a big realization that this is something I have to share with others. And we began to share it, and that second year in the business made over $100,000. And you guys, I was doing this part-time on my phone on the way to work. I didn't have time. I worked 12-hour days seeing patients. And over the last 7 years, I've worked this very part-time, but I have basically doubled the income that I made working full-time as a PA, and it's residual. So, we could go to Europe next year for the entire year. We could move to Fiji if we wanted to with our kids, walk away from the business, and we'd make more money next year than we did this past year, just because of the work I've done part-time. So over the last 7 years, I don't know why you're looking at this. I can tell you the whole raw quality food products that we have with Genesis Pure, you can't find anything better. Pills aren't the future, you guys. You know that. We have a health system that's been in place not just for 8 years, but for decades. Get on the products, get started. You will feel a difference, and you'll be able to de-inflame your body from the inside out with what we have. But maybe you're listening to this and you're looking for a way to get out of debt, or you're looking for a way to get ahead financially, or pay off your mortgage, or just have an extra income stream. It's not good to have all your eggs in one basket. You want to have multiple income streams. That's just wise. And this is a great way to do it. Whether you decide to come in with a $400 order of food or a $1,800 order of food, get some products, plug into the system that Jared and Heather Burnett have put together for us. It's so easy. I always say, if my 11-year-old can't do this business, it won't duplicate while I'm sleeping. It won't duplicate when we go to Europe for a year. If what we're doing is too difficult, you show the plan. I hope you've watched that video. You share a product. I hope you're trying the energy or some metabolic boost, and you connect with someone else who has had a story, with a leader in the company. And so I hope that we get to connect with you live very soon, meet you, see you. There's so many events in Genesis Pure. Get plugged in. One of the best things about the business is the relationships that we've made, and we want you to be part of our family, part of our team, and we will lock arms with you and go out there to change as many lives as we possibly can together. So we hope that we get to meet you guys and travel with you very, very soon. So God bless. Take care.
Bye.